Interesting topic, the art of letting go. The best way to start to understand this is probably to ask myself this question: what is the most difficult thing for me to let go of? What do you think is the most difficult thing to let go of? Sorrow, to let go of sorrow, yes. And there are many variety forms of sorrow. Anything else? Ego, yes, that's a very difficult one. Usually things are difficult to let go of because we don't recognize how they personally work in us. Whether it's attachment or ego or sorrow, maybe I can understand the gross form of it, but the actual personal, subtle way it works with me, it's sometimes difficult. For example, like with sorrow, to have slightly depressing thoughts, it's also a form of sorrow. But after a while, if a person has these types of thoughts for a long time, they take it to be normal. And when you start to take something that is not natural to be normal, then you start to stay in that pattern. And you actually can't see it. This is why sometimes the real subtle change and the real letting go, it's not that we don't want to do it, but sometimes we think, but I've let go, haven't I? And I mean, going into it, but I've let go of having bad feelings. I've let go of being critical. I don't speak about it anymore, which is probably very true, and it's a great effort. But there are things maybe that are deeper. And it is these deep things of letting go that enable us to hear the call of the subtle regions, because we're hearing the calls of two places, isn't it? I'm feeling the call. Hearing and feeling is the same. I'm feeling the call of the soul world. And that call is to be totally liberated. Like yesterday Baba was saying, that it's like the bird in the cage of Ravan here on the earth, and Baba has come to liberate that bird, to liberate the soul and to fly. And so the call of being free, this is what we all like, isn't it? Freedom. We get upset if anybody tries to limit freedom. Because if I can't be free, I can't be happy. Because I can't be free, I can't express who and what I am. So anybody who I feel is trying to block my freedom, they're not very popular in my heart. And most of the revolutions in the world, in history, is the theme to do with freedom. So the more I can let go of the bondages that tie me down, then the more I can experience spiritual freedom, true freedom. And it's a matter, how do I experience that? Do I have to think of all the bondages I have to let go of? I have to let go of this ego. I have to let go of being suspicious. I have to let go of feeling pain easily. I have to let go of being attached to this person. Is that the way? There must be a simpler method. God's ways are simple. God's ways are easy. And God's ways are always successful. So the way to let go, for example, and experience freedom is just be there. Just believe it. To the power of faith, I can get out of the cage which has variety bars, because there are many bars that keep me in that cage. And if I look at each bar of the cage, I get shocked. I lose my courage, I lose my enthusiasm. And I think, and I have this also. And this is why we start to blame others and situations, because we get tired of thinking, it's me again. I have to change this again. It's me. You subconsciously think, no, it's the drama. It's this person. Because usually our method of letting go is not right. The method of letting go of the bars of the cage is not by examining each bar, not by analyzing each bar, not by going into the detail of impurity. We will never be able to let go if we do this. Trust and faith. Trust and faith. And give myself to Baba in the incorporeal world, and when I give myself, I feel he blesses me with liberation. That's why he's come. He's here to liberate me. And I will feel the depth of this blessing when I have no other thoughts, because what stops me from letting go of many things is fear and doubt, worry, mistrust. But doubt is the worst one, because I can't give my mind in full concentration to Baba, or for example to the experience of the soul world. Concentrated mind comes from having a very trusting heart. Concentrated mind comes from having a very faithful intellect. I must stop thinking. When I stop thinking of how and why, then it's like my mind lets go of all the unnecessary thoughts about effort. Sometimes we have unnecessary thoughts about effort. The only effort I have to do is keep my faith very deep and trust in Baba. And yes, the experience of freedom. What's going to happen at the end of the cycle for all souls? They're all going to become free. They're all going to have to let go, aren't they? Like it or not, they're going to have to let go. This happens, of course, during the cycle with death. For example, with death. With death, a soul has to let go. And this is why there's so much fear of death. Because they haven't known how to live properly, so they can't let go of things. So yes, let me feel the call of my home, and as I feel the call of my home, I give myself to that call. It's the call of time. It's the call of not just the home, but time is pulling me there. But we have our own mind about things. My mind goes in another direction, either because I think I'm not ready, or subtle fear, or usually attractions elsewhere. Which attractions elsewhere, usually it's because there's this false promises of being happy, That's Maya's a great politician. She makes many promises. You'll be happy and you'll be content if you hold on to this. Know your role. Yes, if you have a role, you have the position, you have this name, whatever it may be, you have this achievement, this will guarantee respect from others. Yes, this is what Maya does. And I have to understand it. You see, I can understand it when it works in others, but I often don't understand when it's working in me. This is why, in order to really be able to let go, I have to become introspective. Look at myself and go deep in myself with my intellect, very deep, and look at myself with a lot of love and a lot of understanding. And that removes a lot of dependence and a lot of deception. Because I'm just with my core self, I'm just with I, the soul. It's a wonderful lesson, just in case we have forgotten. I am a soul. It's a big thing. Big, wonderful thing. Immediately, if I have this faithful thought in I am a soul, I'm liberated. I automatically let go of false identities. Because what holds me down are false identities, whether it's bodily identity, whether it's because of a relationship with others, because of culture, because of a religion, because of role. All these false things which have been so deeply ingrained within the soul, I have to let go. Why? Why to let go? Because I want to take my right to be happy. I'm here to be happy. I'm here, I follow this knowledge in order to be content. I listen to God because I want to be peaceful again. I follow Srimad because, yes, I want to have right and good relationships with others. And this is not always so easy. But that's why I'm here. So why not let go of the things that block me? And then, yes, it's the call of the subtle regions, the call of the angelic form, the server form, the call of Bap Dada to become like him. And we all feel this call from time to time. But the main thing now is, if there is an effort, it is the effort not simply just of attention on these things, but stabilizing. I will stabilize in the angelic form. One thing I've noticed too is that when you make a decision to let go of limited things, when you make a decision to let go of human thinking and become more unlimited, more like the Baba, more like the angel that I'm destined to be, what happens? The opposite sometimes comes very strong, doesn't it? And you think, what did I do wrong? What happened? But it's really like homeopathic medicine. You take it, and then in the beginning, the opposite things occur. And if you're not detached, you start to lose your determined thought to be angelic, to be victorious, to be close to the Father, to let go of things. From Maya we learn not to give up. Maya doesn't give up her rights. I mustn't give up my rights as a soul within this eternal drama. As a friend of God, as a server for God, I mustn't give up. And the way not to give up is to keep remembering and reminding myself through my understanding and with deep good feelings for myself that yes, this is what I will achieve. Yes, slowly, patiently, lightly, sometimes success, sometimes failure, sometimes awareness, sometimes deception, but a loving and faithful intellect always gets out of it. I will always get out of it. Doesn't seem like sometimes, but I will always get out of it. Because I was thinking of three things that help us to really let go. It is to be connected, to be combined, and to remain the observer. And the practice of all these three daily. Because, I think, classes we hear a lot, things we read a lot, but then what's going to make that click for me is my own commitment to purity, my own daily decision that today is a wonderful day of learning. Today is a day that I can step higher. If I have that vision towards every day of my life as a godly student, as a godly server, as I see these days are the best in all the cycle. How many days are there in 5,000 years? A lot. I have no idea how many, but there's a lot. And these are the best days. No matter what happens, these are the best days. Because whatever happens on any day, even what apparently is bad or negative, I go forward. Because there will come the understanding later on. And this is, again, how does one keep that feeling or attitude is faith. The power of very deep faith. In myself. So these three things, connected, combined, and the observer. Connected. I must be connected with myself, my true self, in order to let go of everything else instantly. The word instant is very popular and it's very useful because when I do something instantly, I don't have to labor and I don't have to overthink, over-discuss and overburden myself. Instant, yes. And the connection is, yes, Om Shanti, I am a soul. Daddy the other day was saying, she was asking the European group about what is the realization. I don't know if it was then or at some other time, but she said, how many times do you say Om Shanti to yourself? Of course, she doesn't mean it like you say it like a parrot, but what does it mean to keep connecting again and again? Because what stops me from letting go of old things and stops renewal in myself is when I think I already understand and know things. It's a very big trap. Many of us, even after many years in Gyan, we know that this lesson is the foundation of my consciousness, of creating a spiritual consciousness, and I have to practice this daily. Because when I practice being connected with I, myself, as a spiritual being, as a soul, as a being of peace, how easily then it is to become tolerant and accepting. Otherwise it's a very big effort, isn't it? If I don't have my own spiritual power, and I just work with my intellect, it's very difficult to be tolerant, to be accepting. If I try to practice virtues without my soul power, I'm going to feel suppressed. And I'm going to burst. In one way or another. I don't have to burst and I don't have to suppress. And the easy method for that is remind myself of myself. Don't ever let go of this lesson, but this lesson also as an experience. Not just, I'm a soul, Om Shanti, I'm a soul. You're a soul, they are souls, points of light, I'm a point of light, you're points of light. I have to really connect with myself so that there is the experience of that eternal goodness which is me, which even God has seen in me and tells me about myself. I've forgotten everything, haven't I? I've forgotten absolutely everything. And out of love, God came from His pure world using Father Brahma and then knocking on my intellect. Wake up. You are much better than what you think you are. But I can only tell you, I can help you experience it, but you have to keep believing it. If you don't keep believing it, then Baba becomes helpless to help. It is often our lack of faith and our lack of awareness that blocks Baba's cooperation. And no matter what has been done, no matter what thoughts, because sometimes we do, don't we, in the process of getting into our pure stage, there we have some quite interesting thoughts, to say the least. Sometimes kind of horrifying, but I have to learn to be then the observer. I'll get back to that a little bit later, but connection. It's the primary method for empowering myself again and again. Because what does Baba say? Bless yourself by using the knowledge. I can bless you by giving it to you. The seniors bless us by their dharana and their love. But ultimately, who is with me but me? So the way I bless myself is through keeping the awareness of the connection, of the right connection with the self. And then when I start to believe and experience this purity and peace, how can I not be forgiving? How can I hold animosity? And the thoughts of animosity may come, not may come, definitely will come. There's always somebody who will come who will press your number one button, always somebody. And then you say to yourself, no, I mustn't react, I mustn't be like this, and you cool yourself down, but inside there's still that turmoil. For whatever reason it happens, then I've got to make a deeper connection and let go. Let go especially of the feeling of being right. Because actually that's the reason why we hold on to many bad feelings with others, isn't it? The feeling of being right about something. And then what comes with that after that? The feeling of injustice, that it's not fair. Then what comes after that? You start to become the lawyer, start to create a case. And then what comes after that? You start to go to others to be your judges. Whether it's seniors or whether it's equals, But of course you only want the judgment that's going to suit you, This is usually the case. And it's very important at that moment to recognize this mechanism, because we all have it. We all have it. I have to recognize the mechanism at that time of this way it goes, and then, connect with my true self. No, you can't be like this. You can't justify violence and bad feelings. You just can't. Why? Because you're much higher than this. Isn't it like that? It's good to talk to the self from time to time. Not too often, but from time to time. To apply dharana. This is the dharana. Because I can't put into practice until I keep stable this inner connection. And of course that will help me in connection, and then to let go, to be disconnected from other things, is to feel combined. Combined with the Father. To be close to Him. Do I have to think about that? Or it just happens? Do I have to churn about it? Or I just experience it? I suppose it depends on where we are at, but usually I don't have to think and churn for the relationship At least not in the meditation. That, I just am there with you and I'm experiencing. Yes, at other times we will churn, yes, to understand the relationship, how it works. But what empowers me, yes, the churning opens my heart, the churning opens my intellect, but what will empower me is the actual experience of that relationship. And when we don't have the experience, then the churning is very important. The intellect is moving. When the intellect is moving, then the heart starts to move. When the heart starts to move, then dana becomes possible. To remain combined with my best friend in the kalpa, the best mother in the kalpa, the best father in the kalpa, in all of time. How many relationships have I had? How many? How many fathers, mothers, cousins, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles? How many? Friends, how many? Now this is the key. This is the diamond relationship. This is the best one. And when I realize that, then, yes, let me give time, let me give my best time, let me give my best attention. And this is a sign of respect, and it's a sign of honesty. Okay, I've got 10 minutes, I'll remember Baba, I'll sit down. This is not very respectful to the one who's supposed to be your best friend. So I need to check this, how I am combined with him. And Baba was saying, just have the thought and I'm there. Just have the thought and I'm present. You must have had this experience. And sometimes I have the thought, and sometimes I think, well, Baba didn't come. And I think again, but he doesn't seem to be around, he disappeared. No, God doesn't disappear, God always appears. This is how the confluence age is, by the way. God appears. What makes me think he disappears? I'm distracted somewhere else internally. I half believe. I myself am half present. Or sometimes I am too forceful, too tense. Like in bhakti, we're saying all these prayers and hoping for experience, hoping for something. I have to be always light and easy. The lighter I am in a relationship, whether with God or with a human soul, the easier it is, and the good things appear. When I'm light and easy with someone, good things appear from them. They don't feel forced. They don't feel rejected. They don't feel neglected. Same way with Baba. And when I am light with him, not, like I don't have a sort of a spiritual fear or an awe, when I have a lot of confidence. Confidence helps a lot in relationships. Otherwise, if there's not confidence, I'm always have this feeling of superiority or inferiority, whether it's with God or with people. Simply, don't have to even think about superiority, inferiority. Simply, I am myself. I am a soul, and I'm with you, my Father. Is it too simple? But actually that's how it is. That is how it is. Then why does it evaporate? It's a matter, I don't remain conscious. And the way that helps me to remain conscious is, I always tell myself, don't be in a rush. Don't rush God. Don't rush drama. work with it. Be very patient. Patience creates a lot of lightness. And you know, patience creates a lot of speed too. A soul who is patient moves fast because they don't get stuck on things that block. Remember the song in the Muli, "Have patience, O mind, the days of happiness are coming." Sometimes we're too much in a rush to be pure, to be happy. Whatever good is to be achieved today will be achieved. Just take it. Let me understand the drama, let me not try to plan it. When we're too intellectual, we plan things a lot and control things a lot. It doesn't mean we don't plan at all. We have to plan, but when it comes to certain things happening, I can't really plan it. It is my stage that will make good things happen outside. I can't plan that something good must come from this person or this scene, or something positive must come from this person or this scene. It may not. But if my stage is right, then everything outside will have a meaning for me. We lose our courage when we think things are very bad or have no meaning. We feel that drama is against us. Because, I hold on to the wrong attitude, the wrong way to see it. And it's such a habit that even though I understand it's not good, I find it hard to let go. Habit makes it very difficult to let go of things, although the understanding is very clear. So this is why I need to be combined, because when I'm combined with Baba, then I'll get that power. Remember in the Muli of Holy, Baba saying to do with burning and colouring and changing sanskaras. And the way to change sanskaras is remember Baba at that moment, very silently, with lots of faith, and just take that power of remembrance. What's remembrance? What is it? To remember to remember a point in the soul world called God. What's remembrance? To sit mechanically in meditation. I'm a soul, he's a soul, I'm a soul, he's a soul, they are souls, I'm a soul, he's a soul, I'm peaceful, he's peaceful. What's remembrance? What is it? Someone asks you, you talk about, you teach meditation, but you're always talking about remembrance. What do you remember? What do you get? What benefit is there from remembering God? What is the benefit of remembering God? Developing relationship, yes. Do you remember with your heart, or do you remember with your intellect? Or do you remember from duty? Which way? Duty? Remembrance? Is it a duty? Is it with the intellect, the heart? Duty? Need? Need? I remember with need. In religion, usually people remember with duty. They're afraid. If they don't say their prayers, something's going to happen to them. Maybe for us, a bit of everything is in it, but when I think of remembrance, I think, where your mind is concentrated, it's going to be absorbed there, and you're going to, and what happens to the soul, it actually takes all that inside them, in the self. So for example, if I'm remembering the weakness of somebody I don't like, it's going to go into me like a poison. Like a poison, the best poison. If you really want to become body conscious, just do it. Actually, we don't need any exercise in that, it just happens, doesn't it? Yes, that's the thing. The mind and the intellect work together. When there's a very deep pull, attraction, positive or negative, whatever it is, and you are absorbed in that remembrance, you're collecting that energy. That energy is coming into me. And I'm going to be the embodiment of what I remember. So when I'm really remembering Baba with my heart, with my intellect, with my feelings, then yes, that combination creates also that connection, and that the purity of that energy flows into the soul. But like if I half remember God, what happens? Well, it's half experience. It's not the feeling of being complete. And then the soul is a bit empty and wants fulfillment in other ways. Why do I half remember Baba? Because the other half is remembering relatives and things and people, and it's moving in another direction. So usually both things come in together, good things about Baba, but also things about others or other. And so that mixture doesn't make me feel complete. Mixture will never make me feel complete and content. Something I feel is always missing. Because my remembrance wasn't full. My remembrance wasn't faithful. So it's good for the self, in order to let go of remembering old things and to really remember the eternal, the original, the pure, the beautiful, the refreshing. I need to ask myself from time to time, again, these questions. What is remembrance? In time, how is this time precious for me? This will help me get rid of wasting time. If I value time, I won't waste it. And being impressed by others, Baba often says, learn from others, but don't be impressed. Because again, to be impressed means to become subservient. What happens? It's a whole chain. Everything has a chain. When I become subservient, what happens? I start to have expectations. And in that expectation, there's a demand, a desire from that particular one. And because they're only souls and human beings, and it's not their fault, they can't fulfill my expectation, and then I get disappointed, and then I get depressed. From being impressed to getting depressed, it's a process. This is what happens in Lokik relationships. And then Baba says, again, it's not the fault of the other person. It's my own subservience and my own desire. Instead of learning, I'm wanting. It's a very big difference. Do I want to learn, or do I simply just want? And usually we have the sanskar of wanting something because we've taken other people as a support a lot. And when there's just that thought to take a support, even subconsciously, then I'm not in a learning mode. I'm in a taking mode. And when I'm in a taking mode, this is what creates karmic accounts. And with karmic account, I'm very nicely glued. I can't let go, I can't take off. Like there's a gravity holding the soul. I'm glued down. And I want to get up. Knowledge is still working. I want to get up. I want to fly out of the cage. But it's like my ears, everything, something's holding back. And I have to start to understand what that is. So if I remain combined, Baba will give me the understanding. And then the third thing, yes, observer. How many times has Baba given this? This point is a nectar, really a nectar to remove all sorrow. Be detached observer. Because usually we are attached observers. You know, we may start to become observers, but we become attached observer. What's an attached observer? You're waiting for a particular result. Waiting for a particular type of outcome. There's desires. Say, I'm not interfering, I'm just watching. But I've got many, like I've got an agenda inside me that is wanting things to be in a particular way. I may not say anything, I may not be forceful anymore, I may even be very sweet, but I'm very attached to outcome. Detached means detached. You know what that means? Detached means detached. That is, my motives are clean and I'm working as far as I can anyway with drama. And in the stage of being detached observer, what comes into my consciousness for practice is three things. Instrument, guest, trustee. Instrument, guest, trustee. When I start to have that deep inside me, then I can become a detached observer. An instrument, a flute doesn't say, I don't want to play this song. It doesn't tell the musician, don't play this. Don't like it. A flute doesn't talk back to the musician, does it? No. It doesn't block itself and say, no, I'm not going to play anymore. A flute is there to be played. So the drama, Baba, are the chief musicians, if not conductors, So I am there. I trust. I trust God, don't I? Don't I? Depends on the day. I trust drama, don't I? People say, Baba, yes, but drama, I'm not sure. But as much as I surrender to Baba, I do also need to surrender to drama. In the sense of, it's happening, some things are happening, so they may not be, let's say, the right thing, but they're accurate because they're happening, so flow with it, learn from it. Because if you fight the drama, you have splitting headache. The intellect stops functioning. And then there start to be bad feelings towards the actors in that scene. Surrender to drama. Usually it's a lesson for me, this is how I often find it. I don't like some scenes in drama, but, whether you like it or not, it's going to happen. So, what has to shift inside me to get away from this I like, I don't like, it suits me, it doesn't suit me, it's right, it's wrong. I have to shift this. And be very neutral at times, many times actually. Because you see, one of the things that it stops us from letting go is the very deep habit of making judgments. Judgments, opinions interfere a lot, and memories. The memory of what this one said and did circulate so well. It's amazing, eh? We remember, Baba says, he's amazed too, we remember the things we should forget and we forget the things we should remember. So I can't remain an observer if I have this habit of making judgments on scenes and on sanskars of others. I have to remain neutral. That's the first step. Then, as I get stronger, loving, tolerant, as I get stronger, But if I can't do that yet, at least neutral, peaceful. Haji, that's the way it is at the moment. Because scenes and sanskaras always are pulling down, aren't they? Scenes and sanskaras, the two S's. And they're the change always pull me down. Baba's trying to give me wings to go up, and these two things, scenes and sanskaras, in one or another, always pulling me down. Sometimes we feel a bit uncomfortable because a part of us is flying up, and we flew very well yesterday, and today a part is come down. And we don't know sometimes where we're going, who we are. It's like, a horn from the devilish nature is there, and a wing from the angelic nature is there, and it gets confused at times. Because, again, I don't remain observer even of my own self. And really, for example, too, I've learned, one thing I'm learning, so I haven't learned it, but I'm learning, less opinions about things. Less opinions, because we are always encouraged, have your opinion, express your opinion. That's how we are brought up in the Western world. It's good. It's not a matter of suppressing opinion, but it should be the right opinion at the right time in the right way. So it's not that I don't have an opinion at all. It's not this. But when I find myself making too many opinions, too many judgments, I have to be honest with myself. Says, you can't always know what's the right thing. And you can't always be so right about people. And even if you are, change the vision. See them as souls rather than passing the opinion, they are like this, they are like that. Everything has its time, of course, but it's such an easy habit to get into because, making judgments and opinions often a defense mechanism. I defend myself to keep my way of thinking, as the right way. And my position is the right position. So I judge a person, label them, and it's over. It's over. But where's love in the process? Where's compassion? And again, it's not that I don't want to be loving. It's not that I don't want to be compassionate. But when there are strong feelings about something or someone, it's so easy to forget to be really loving and being really compassionate. That's why we have to hear the Muli every day. That's the reason. Because I forget what I know. That's the reason. And we all do it, so it's not just one or two. We all do. That's why it takes time. Because the old sanskaras some of them are pretty hard. But then, when I connect with my true self, when I combine with Baba, I can let go of that in the sense that I become more the observer. Because the more we identify with the feelings that come from the old sanskaras, intellect is not clear. More emotional I am about things, intellect's not clear. So as I connect with myself, combine with Baba, become the observer, then it's much easier to have pure feelings, soul feelings, which have to do with patience, with understanding, with also, it's easier to become humble also. Not popular, this humility, very much. Also, or sometimes we do it in the wrong way. We become subservient rather than become humble. We become suppressed rather than become tolerant. And so to let go of wrong understanding of things also is very useful. Not to understand a virtue or a point of knowledge not necessarily in the wrong way, but half understanding it. Because then the results are disappointing. I'm a student and I'm learning. But we're more than students also. We belong to God. When I have that feeling of belonging, then I have the foundation inside myself. And this happens to everybody. If a person doesn't feel that they belong, psychologically, they're very disoriented, emotionally also. And this happens a lot in the Lokik world. Because a lack of this sense of belonging, a lack of feeling loved, respected, it cuts a person's roots, and so they're floating all the time, and they're influenced by this, influenced by that. It's very easy to be influenced when you're not grounded. So on one hand, it's funny, we say have to be grounded but also let go, But it's true, I have to be with my roots. When I am grounded in my true self, then I can let go of everything else. So, these are just a few thoughts about the art of letting go, and I feel that Baba, time, even the seniors always are calling the soul to let go and be up above. You've heard this phrase often. I've heard it so often. Be up above. And I'm thinking, but what's going to happen with everything down here below if I'm up above? Do I become unconscious? Do I become unrealistic? People say this. I say, yeah, okay, you go up above, that means you're going to be a sannyasi. Because the art is, again, it's an art, is to really be up above, but to also remain caring. Because an angel serves, but you can't serve what you're attached to. You can't serve what you identify with on the bodily or social level. First, die alive, let go. And die alive also is this, letting go of wrong foundations, the wrong ways of helping, the wrong mercy, the wrong love, the wrong sense of I, understanding letting go, and being up above with Bap Dada. That's my home, is the angelic world. But, have to serve here. Help transform the elements, give souls hope, give message. Many things we have to do here, but I can't do here unless I am there. I am a soul, I am Baba's angel, I am his child, I am his partner. When this I am consciousness and the place where we are is very deep within the soul, then it can do what it has to do here. Generously and also economically. Why economically? Because then I don't get caught up in my own desires and half-truths, and I don't get caught up in others' desires, because everybody needs peace, happiness, but their needs are very strong. I have to be able not to be pulled by their needs, but still serve their needs. It's not possible unless my intellect, my heart is with Bap Dada, unless I'm up above, because otherwise I get too pulled by their needs. Also, it's not good to neglect their needs or reject their needs either. So to be really up above means also to have such a stage that I can remain caring without getting entangled. So the more I'm up above, the more I do become a world server, because to be up above with the Father, becoming like the Father, God is for everyone, isn't He? You know, God is not just, all religions honor and search for God. Angels also recognized internationally. And so in the same way, this democratic, this more open vision is what happens when I'm up above. Because I don't belong to a branch, I belong to the whole tree, because I'm with the seed. This is the feeling I get, and this is the feeling also I will give to others. This is what Baba has talked of being ancestor. An ancestor soul feels, yes, they belong to the whole tree. It's not just a part. Okay, we may be in a certain position in the tree, but it doesn't mean my vision is only there. My vision is for the whole. Like Baba, the more my vision is like Baba, the more unlimited and inclusive it becomes. The sign of letting go is inclusive vision. Yeah, I can... Big heart. But very selfless feelings. I can't have a big heart unless my feelings are pure, are selfless. Because otherwise many little things come. Little things that can become big things. If anyone has any question? Okay. Yes? It's what? It's a wonder, the spiritual study, yes. Ah, yes. Yes. Yeah, the comment was that the wonder of the study, that what we studied even 20 years ago, many things we remember, but what we study every day, we can't always remember. But actually, you'd be surprised what goes in. Sometimes we may, as we're listening every day, then things are definitely going in. Usually, when it's the time to practice, this is when the awareness goes. But gradually I start to teach myself to remain aware. And also, the study before was just for our intellect, whereas this study is, for I, the soul. And it's a change of intellect, of sanskaras, of the way of thinking. It's quite a different type of study. But if I'm present, then Baba guarantees that I will definitely learn whatever I have to learn. And it always is. I'm sure you've had the experience that you think when people ask you to say something or do something, you think, oh, I don't know what I'm going to say or what I'm going to tell them. But then all of a sudden, when you start, you don't stop. Because a lot has gone in. A lot has gone in subconsciously. Okay, thank you. Om Shanti. Shanti, Om Shanti.